Hi, I'm your host, Nancy O'Neill, and welcome to Suncoast FYI. We have a great show for you today, and we welcome SNN's Chief Meteorologist, Justin Mosley, Adelia Moyano, a Suncoast woman helping Ukrainians, and Kat Depot right here on Suncoast FYI. My first guest today is the face most of us think of when it comes to keeping our families and ourselves safe during severe weather. Here with me now is SNN's Chief Meteorologist, Justin Mosley, to discuss how Suncoast residents can prepare for the 6-month stretch we call hurricane season. Well, it's great to see you, but under the circumstances, I don't know. But
yes, it is here, Nancy.
You're going to fill us in. So, hurricane season is typically ranges from when to when, Justin?
June until the end of November. So we have 6 months to deal with it officially, correct?
Officially.
So,
but
long time.
We've seen already a tropical storm come up, which is kind of outside the window, or did it just catch in there? What?
Yeah, we've already seen Alex, the first named storm of the season, and it did fall within the hurricane season. But we've seen many times in the past these storms develop before the technical start to hurricane season, and they can last even longer after hurricane season as well.
Now, is that something that you've seen more and more as the past several years have gone by?
That's an excellent question. The answer is yes. We're starting to see the season heat up well before the technical start, which is June 1st. And there's been some discussion with the Hurricane Center of maybe even moving the season up a little bit to account for all the activity that we've been dealing with in the tropics the past several years. That's a little bit early.
None of us like to hear that. It's hard enough
Making
bracing
it
for
longer.
the 6 month, the 6 months we have to go through. But is there typically a more active part of the season, Justin?
Yes, the heart of the hurricane season usually is around August and September. The technical peak is September 10th. And the reason for that, you have the lightest winds in the upper atmosphere, the sea surface temperatures are at their warmest, and the environmental conditions are favorable for numerous storms to develop. And that's still ahead, so got to be prepared for it.
All right. Now, just a question personally I'm interested in. Do you see them coming out of one part or one country more so than another as far as developing and coming up to us?
Well, it depends on the time of the hurricane season. This time of the year, early in the season, we look in the Caribbean Sea, the Gulf of Mexico, and Western Atlantic for development. And as the season goes on, we look further and further out into the Atlantic. So then we start talking about the African continent, tropical waves moving off of there, Cabo Verde Islands, and those can be those long track hurricanes that can come in from the east. An example of that was Hurricane Andrew in 1992, and numerous other big hurricanes that develop in what we call the main development region.
Okay. Now, how far out, because I know with all of the advancements in technology, how far out can you actually see a storm coming?
Well, with the satellite era, since the 60s, we can see these storms developing. We can track the tropical waves. We will track, on average, 100 tropical waves, and maybe 10% will develop into hurricanes in any given year. This is forecast to be above normal season as far as activity is concerned. But yeah, we can track from the birth stages all the way till it's maybe Category 5. It just depends on the atmospherics and what the storm will do.
Okay. Now, you said this is going to be a busier season than usual.
Yes.
What's the criteria that you determine that by?
Well, basically look at the atmospherics. You have to see what is going on in the atmosphere as well as at the surface of the water. So we have a La Nina that's forming. That's the cooling of the equatorial Pacific. Don't want to be too technical. But what it does is creates lighter winds in the atmosphere over the Atlantic basin. So the storms can get, they can grow vertically, and there's no wind to shear. You hear us talk about that term shear, shear the tops off of the storm. So everything is nice and light. These storms can really get going. And we have very warm waters out there right now. We also have an African easterly jet. Everything points to, all the signals that we look for point towards above normal activity in the tropics. But as I like to say, it doesn't matter what those numbers say each year. It only takes one storm.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. Well, we're going to talk about what to do to prepare, but I just have another quick question. Last week we had those funnel clouds that appeared. What typically causes those, and how do they develop, Justin?
That, I mean, in the summertime, it's a frequent occurrence here in the state of Florida, especially in the Florida Keys. You can get that from just a general afternoon thunderstorms. They can collide. We see sea breeze boundaries that go together, and you can get a little bit of spin and create a funnel cloud. You don't have to have a lot of dynamics in the atmosphere like you'd see in the Midwest for tornadoes, because we just aren't dealing with that type of weather setup. And typically funnel clouds or a brief tornado are weak, what we call EF0, with winds that aren't all that strong. But yeah, it's frequent in the summertime. We have to be on guard, and that's why we're always in the forecast center watching and scanning.
Well, and that's
and
it. I mean, your coverage was phenomenal, you know, when we had all that weather coming in last week, as always.
Thank you.
So, to wrap up, our viewers, we always share with them what they need to do to be prepared. And it's never too early. Right now, they have time.
Yes.
What are your top numbers? I won't say 10. Give me, your top list of what you have on hand. What people should have.
Like you said, time is on our side for now.
Right.
We are in hurricane season, so we should have a plan. And the first thing in having a plan is knowing your evacuation zone. If you live in an evacuation zone or not, that is top priority, because when a storm is threatening, you want to run from the water and hide from the wind. If you live in an evacuation zone, you have to have a plan to get out. So you have to determine that first. If you're going to stay in your home, you have to have a plan that it's going to be fortified. So thinking shutters, you think something to put over your windows, whether it be plywood or shutters. And then from there, you need to think about things like food, water, medications to survive the storm. And the recommendation is to have 7 days worth of food and water and medications to survive a storm. And then from there, hopefully government agencies can help you if need be, if it is that bad of a storm. So that's the order that you really need to kind of look at it in having that hurricane plan.
All right. Batteries, battery operated radio.
Correct.
Okay, flashlights.
Yes.
Candles.
Candles are a no-go.
Candles are a no-go.
Correct. You do not want to use candles. We've seen over the years too many instances of fire behind the uses of candles. So we recommend to people batteries and flashlights, things of that nature. It's great to have a NOAA weather radio, so you can get alerts. And of course, nowadays with all of our smart devices, we'll be streaming on snntv.com. You can watch us throughout a storm. You know, make sure that everything is, charged up before a hurricane. But those life-saving things I did mention are very important.
Okay, and just to add this to the mix, Marco is the proponent as well for being prepared.
Yes.
But remembering your pets.
Correct.
Food, medication, whether shelters.
Yes. Not all shelters are pet friendly.
Exactly.
So you do have to plan for your pets. They're a part of the family.
Absolutely. You're not going to leave them behind.
You have to have, like you said, food, water, medications for them, and if you do have to evacuate, what are you going to do with your pets? So planning is as I like to say, preparation is the key for all this stuff. And if you do it ahead, the stress is gone.
There you
know,
go.
you sit back and you watch us broadcast to you and let
Yep.
you know what's going on with the storm. But yeah, now is the time to do it.
Keep your tank full of gas.
Yes, which is kind of painful to do these days.
It is. Oh, gosh. Well, thank you so much, and always delightful to see you, Justin.
Always my pleasure to be here with you, Nancy.
Thank you. Coming up, an extended interview with Adelia Moyano, a Suncoast woman helping Ukrainians half a world away. So please stay tuned. Now, SNN's Annette Gutierrez brings us an extended interview with a Suncoast woman who is reaching out to help Ukrainians during this turbulent time. Annette?
I don't have any connections at all with Ukraine. I just felt compelled to go.
Adelia Moyano was born and raised in Brazil and currently lives in Sarasota County. After learning about the war in Ukraine, she embarked on a 40-day trip to help the people living there.
The way I see it is not really a Ukrainian problem, it's a human problem.
Moyano says she did not go with a nonprofit for a reason.
Because if you are with one, you are limited to what they wanted to do, and I want to help everybody as much as I can, and that's the only way to do it.
And that's exactly what she did. Moyano became the liaison between several nonprofits, driving food and medical supplies into the much-needed areas of Ukraine. The drive also included taking refugees from Ukraine to Poland.
We're never supposed to have the car empty. Whenever I went to pick up someone, I had the car full of supplies already.
But helping in a foreign country with no connections to anyone is no easy task.
It's really hard to help, actually, because, I mean, most people there don't speak English.
Plus, many of the roads and bridges were blown up.
That's not on Google Maps, you know? So you get there, I was like, oh, there's no bridge anymore, you know? So you have to go around there, and it takes 3 hours to go around the bridge. I was so tired. I drove to Kyiv by myself, and then I was driving them back, and I was hallucinating almost. I was so tired, but every time I looked back, I'll be like, who cares? You know what I mean? Why? I mean, it doesn't matter if I'm tired or not.
Right, you're here to help them. They're literally
right,
just fighting
and
for
that's
their
what
life.
right, and they have their whole life, and they came from Mariupol actually, which is now is occupied by Russians. So
While people were leaving an active war zone, Moyano was walking right into it.
it is stressful for sure. You know, when you hear the siren, it's terrifying.
She saw a lot of horror.
The saddest thing for me, I think, was to see the women in the shelters because they look dead inside. I've never seen anything like that.
But amidst the tragedy, Moyano saw beauty too.
I went to a cathedral to hide from air raid, and these children were all in a little cave area, like you can see, and they're singing a song. I don't speak Ukrainian, right? So I don't know what they're saying, but I know they said several times "Slava Ukraini," so which is a song for Ukraine. As we're hiding from air raid, you know, it was that moment was one of the most emotional to me because we're all there. Because when you're hiding from that, you're trying to hear things because you don't know if the building next to you, you know what I mean?
It's like a sad and beautiful moment at the same time.
Exactly.
Because,
It's very,
you know, these kids,
right.
they're just trying to
Yep.
stay uplifted and
Right.
do what kids do.
Right, exactly.
Moyano says it was also beautiful to see how people came together to help during tough times.
The volunteers from all over the world, you know, doing that for strangers. We've never, you know, most of us have no connections to them.
But Moyano is no longer a stranger to the people of Ukraine.
And now it's so personal to me. I have to go. I have to help until this thing is over.
She plans to go back and help in about a month.
Because now I know a lot of people there, you know, and I know exactly who to help. And I want to make sure that the things I'm going to take and the aid I'm going to take will go specifically to them and it's not going to get lost in a warehouse how it has been happening.
In Sarasota County, Annette Gutierrez, SNN, the Suncoast News Network.
Thank you so much, Jeanette. Up next on Suncoast FYI, I'm joined by Cat Depot to talk about the importance of fostering cats up for adoption. Here with me now is Andy Antonick, Development Specialist, and Peyton Davis, Communication Specialist with Cat Depot, and they're here to talk about the importance of fostering cats up for adoption. Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to see you all.
Yeah, we brought some kitties along.
Yes,
of
who do you
course.
have with you?
So I have Jim right here.
And this is Michael.
Oh, and they're both kind of chilled now. Before, Michael was getting a little feisty,
Yep.
and they're siblings.
Yes.
Yes.
And they have 2 other siblings at the shelter who are also available for adoption. Pam, their sister, and then they have Dwight, a brother. So they're back at the shelter.
And
They are
they're
the office
just
babies.
going up for adoption right away here.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Today's their first day on
Today's
the
their
adoption
first
floor.
day. Oh, and I know you've been a foster mom.
Yes, these are my little babies for about the past month.
So what's the importance of fostering, Andy?
Sure. So basically the importance of fostering is right now, especially we're in kitten season, so there are kittens everywhere, and animal services and places like that can get overwhelmed really easily with the number of kittens that come in. So we need fosters to take them in, help them get to 2 pounds so we can do their spay and neuter surgery, and then they can find their forever homes.
All
So
right. Now, what do you do exactly as a foster parent?
So as a foster parent, I just get to have these little babies in my home. Like I said, they were in here with me for about a month. But it's basically just taking care of them day to day.
All 4 of them?
All 4 of them.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, they were in my house, so it's been a crazy month. But you take me to make sure food, water, all that fun stuff, clean their litter boxes.
Just what you do with it.
Just what you would do with your own kitty, and it's also very important to make sure that they're getting socialized.
Yes.
So I like to invite my friends over, so they're meeting different types of people, men, women, kids, whoever, so that they can get comfortable around people.
Other pets as well? Do you try to introduce those or not?
It depends on the circumstance. So these guys met my cats a little bit. We tried to keep them separate for the most part, but I would let them see the big kitties and see how they would react.
Yeah.
And they're super great.
So you kind of gotta kind of gauge it. Right?
Yes, yep, it really depends on the kittens. And sometimes, you can get some that maybe were, their mom was a stray, and so whenever they were born, they were out on the streets and they might not have a lot of socialization, so those take a little bit more time. These guys came pretty friendly once I got them settled. I give them some space in the beginning just to get comfortable in their new environment before I start to really jump in and love all over them. Hi, sweetie. But they were pretty social when I got them, so fortunately that wasn't something we had to
Now,
do.
Peyton, do folks have to take, Andy did the whole litter? What if they only want to take 1 or 2?
It kind of depends on the circumstance. We have a great team of fosters. We have a whole Facebook group set up, and our intake person will contact them, and she will say, hey, can anyone take cats right now? Here's how many, because we'll contact other animal services, and we'll say, and they'll say, I have a litter of 4 that I really, really need a foster to take. Can one of your fosters take it?
Sure.
I have a litter of 2. I have 1 cat. Can you take 1 cat? So we kind of judge. Some of our fosters are more willing to take bigger litters, or they're willing to take a mom with kittens. We've had a couple really big litters. We had a mom with 7 kittens at one point. So some of our fosters are great and are able to do that. And then we also really respect the other ones who are like, you know what, I can only take 1 or 2. That's what I'm. And we appreciate any and all help that we can get from our fosters.
Well, and that's it. I mean, you match them up with their
Yes.
requests.
Yes, absolutely.
As it goes along. So how do you sign up to be a foster parent? What's
so-
the criteria?
Yeah, so there's a whole process to it. There is an application. If anyone is seriously interested in fostering, we really, really need fosters, especially during kitten season. Even we need fosters for adult cats that just maybe need some socialization. But if anyone's seriously interested in adopting, please give us a call. Not adopting, sorry, fostering. Please give us a call.
adopting.
Yeah, and adopting. We need, we always need fosters.
Okay. Now, I know last time you were on, we talked about it being the beginning of kitten season.
Yes.
And there is always kittens, but
Yes.
what period of time, month-wise, is actual kitten season for you? When do you see the
So
biggest
it
influx?
typically starts around March and goes up into September. Right now we're really, really in kitten season. We've gotten a lot of contacts from animal services, from people finding cats outside. So right now we really are in kitten season. We have, I think, over 50 kittens right now in foster alone.
Wow.
And those aren't the cats that are available. We've got probably a good, I'd say 15 kittens available for adoption right now, but
Right
that
now?
changes
Well,
all the
that's
time.
great.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
So there's, so how does somebody, do they set up an appointment with you if they want to come in?
Yeah. So if anybody is interested in adopting us from us, you can visit us online. You can see all of the cats. It's always changing. We've always got new kitties coming
Okay.
in. And there's an application that's up on our website. It takes about 5 minutes to fill it out. And then one of our adoption counselors will approve it. And then you can give us a call to schedule an appointment.
Wonderful. Okay. Now, if someone isn't able to foster, I know there must be a lot of other things people can do to help.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the biggest ways, we actually have a lot of events that we do. So we've got like yoga with cats, which is our Namaste yoga. We do a lot of art events. So we have Paint Your Pet that's coming up. And you can
Literally,
paint
no,
your
I'm
own-
just kidding.
You can paint a picture of your
Yes.
own pet, which is really cool. That one's going to be super fun. We also, for kids, we have Critter Camp starting soon. So it's a week-long program, and there are 6 weeks, and each week has a different like focus and topic. But the kids get to learn about cats, do like crafts and activities, science lessons. They get to meet someone, like a special guest from out in the community that works
Sure.
with animals, and of course some of our adoptable kitties will stop by as well. So that's really fun, and we're working with other organizations. So we've got Yappy Hour coming up on Father's Day, which is with Motorworks Brewing. So it's out at their beer garden, and it'll be a really good time. It's from 1 to 4. So
And all of these events are on your
yes.
website.
Yep.
And
Okay,
they
so you have a lot going on.
Oh,
Yeah.
So people just get out there and check it out, and obviously donations.
Yep,
if you need
donations. We always are taking donations, monetary, actual physical items. We've got wish lists up on our website, Chewy
right.
wish list, Amazon wish list. A lot of ways to support us right now, especially.
Great. Well, thank you for being here and bringing these lovely little kitties.
Yes.
They're
Yeah,
brothers,
now
yeah?
they're-
Absolutely,
Yep,
yep,
now-
brothers.
Now they've switched. Normally Michael's the super energetic one, and Jim's very chill. But now he's like, well, wait, what's going on?
I'm gonna go see my brother.
see your
Well,
brothers.
thank you all for being here, and I'm sure these little kitties, fur babies, will find homes soon.
Absolutely, thank
Thank
you.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed the show today, and thank you for joining us on Suncoast FYI. If you would like to promote your nonprofit or community event, we would love to hear from you, and this is a complimentary service. Please call our producer, Adam Huntley, at 941-361-4645 or email fyi@snntv.com. To view previous episodes, go to snntv.com and click on the What's On tab. I'm Nancy O'Neill, and we'll see you next week on Suncoast FYI.